Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavirjam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Okay, I've unmuted him. Sunita, unmuted three of you. Oh, there is some nice sounds and all that.
Sorry.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's chant a couple of verses. So I think we have to mute. Shrita, are you ready to repeat?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've muted everybody else. So from Atma Kaha 1:15.
Okay.
So question before that. So does everybody is able to read Devanagari and chant from the text, no? Or Deepa? Okay, Deepa has difficulty, or how is it?
Yeah, when you chant Jayakumarji, I can follow, but looking at the book, but looking at the book itself without you, I cannot chant.
So I will maybe look for a text with English also in it. So then that will be easier for all of you.
Deepa, you may have this book from Sajeev.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that has English too.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Atma kaha sthula sukshma karana sharirat
vyatiriktah
panchakoshatitah
san
avasthatraya sakshi Satchidananda San
Satchidanandarupah San
Yas Tishtati
Yastishtati
Sa Atma
Sa Atma
Sthula Shariram Kim
Sthula Shariram Kim
Panchikrita
Panchikrita
Panchamahabhutaihi
Panchamahabhutaihi
Kritam
Kritam
Sat Karmajanyam
Tatkarmajanyam
Sat Karmajanyam
Tatkarmajanyam
Sat as in Satyam Sat Karmajanyam
Tatkarmajanyam sorry
Sukha Dukkhadi
Sukha Dukkhadi
Bhogayatanam
Bhogayatanam
Shariram
Shariram
Asti
Asti
Jayate
Jayate
Vardhate
Vardhate
Viparinamate
Viparinamate
Apakshiyate
Apakshiyate
Vinashyati
Vinashyati
Iti
Iti
Shad Vikaravat
Shad Vikaravat
Etat
Etat
Sthula Shariram.
Thula Shariram.
Okay. Okay, Heyman, Mohini, can you unmute yourself? Okay, so last class we were covering the topic of Sthula Shariram. Sthula Shariram Kim. So we covered several topics. We will summarize that shortly. But there is one that is left out, which is this Shadvikaravat Asti Jayate. That part let's cover now. And then I'll go back and summarize Sthula Shariram. So physical body. What is the physical body? That was the simple question. Apparently simple question. So many things were said. And one of the things that the teacher says last is the transformations that the body undergoes. So he starts about this sixfold modification. It's called Bhava Vikara. Shad Vikaravat means that which has sixfold modifications, that which gets modified in a sixfold way. That is the meaning of Shad Vikaravat. So what are those sixfold modifications? The list of words starting from Asti. Asti, Jayate, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyate. So the baby is born. Jayate means born. Jayate means born. Janma hota hai. Porakkaradu. That is what Jayate means. Then there is Asti. Asti also given before Jayate. So the baby is born, but it should not be stillborn. So you all know what stillborn is, right? Stillborn is a euphemistic way of saying the baby is born, the baby is not alive. So the baby has to be alive in order for the life to be led. The baby is not born to die, of course. And so Asti, where does word Asti mean? Asti in Sanskrit literally means is. Is. Means lives. In this case, we should say lives. The baby should born and it should live. Only then the rest of the modifications will apply. So, jayate asti. Then what? Then he says vardhate. Vardhate. So, grows. The baby, of course, grows rapidly. The initial stages are when the baby grows very rapidly. And for animals, the growth is even more rapid. You take a cow. The calf is born, and every month its weight doubles. Every 2 months it weighs doubles for some time. So it has to, and it quickly becomes. Within a few months, it looks almost like the mother. It becomes as big as the mother. That's how fast these animals grow. So in the human being also, there is the growth. Vardhate is there. And not just physically growing, but also, I suppose here, physical growth is what is indicated. Becoming bigger, physically becoming bigger. And then the Shastram uses the word viparinamate. Modifies. Viparinamate, changes the form also. So, the boy starts growing mustache and beard starts growing. Physically also once some transformation occurs. Viparinamate. And the body matures. The person is able to have a family, can have the reproductive organs are now mature, and so full adult. This we know very well. After that, the Shastram is silent and says apakshiyate. Apakshiyate declines.
Okay.
Apakshiyate declines. So I suppose after some time, after 40 or 45 or something, or maybe even less, I don't know. So physically, the body, no more growth. Height doesn't increase anymore. Until then, the entire family was keeping the girl or the boy on the wall and said, "Come on, let's see how tall you are," and measure, put the scale on top of the head. I remember they used to do it for me. And they used to do it for me, I don't know for what reason. They were afraid that I was a bit short also. So they were measuring, is he growing or not? But I see this happening in every family. All children, we all measure. Oh, he's growing. Oh, he's gone. 1 inch. Okay, goes. Then, no, I'll catch up with you and all. So they measure. There's always one place in the house, I suppose, in the wall. These measurements are always there. So that growth happens. And then after some time, no more measurement. Families no more measuring every month and all. Come, let's measure each other. Nobody does that because everybody knows. At this point, the size of the shirt for this boy is no longer a boy. The identity is fixed. And there is some feedback, no noise and all. Okay. So let's see where it's coming. Can you mute yourself? Okay. Okay. Stay muted. So after some time, we all come to a conclusion. Okay, no more growth for this guy, this girl, everything. Height is pakka. And okay, the width can keep increasing. For some people, it keeps on increasing. Some people get worried. Oh my God, etc. So that doesn't seem to stop. Even after aging, it doesn't stop, I suppose. So apakshiyate, after all that, then reduces. So the parts don't seem to work like they used to work before. So getting up and sitting down is a problem. The baby just jumps and just runs, but this adult is the sitting down, the knees are all crackling, all sounds are happening, crack crack and all that, and fingers, all these joints, some problem is always there. And these days, thanks to the computer and all that, I think everybody has some carpal tunnel, musculoskeletal problems. They have all these names for all these things. So all these musculoskeletal, we never took a 3-year-old boy for a musculoskeletal problems. They didn't have all these things. So apakshiyate, the joints remind us, hey, wait a minute, I'm there here. And we go to the doctor and they say there is a murmur in the heart, or the heart, this is there. That's when I thought about my heart. Until then, I only saw the heart in the biology textbook. I never knew this heart. I never thought about this heart. So all these problems start happening, and appendicitis and gallbladder and gallstone, and list goes on endless. So apakshiyate, and this stopping to function also, not functioning like before, apakshiyate. Good. Then finally he uses the word vinashyati. Vinashyati, that's it. Then there is a time when the body stops functioning. Vinashyati, body is basically useless. Neither is it useful for the person for whom the body was meant for, nor for other people. So it is given up completely. So all these changes, the teacher says, these are the 6-fold forms. Shad vikaravat yat tishtati. Shad vikaravat ye tat sthula shariram. That's what he says. So sthula shariram is what? Panchikrita mahabhutaihi kritam satkarmajanyam. So we saw earlier that the Shastra's model of this world is called the Pancha Mahabhuta model, where it talks about Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Very familiar to all of us by now. So Panchikrita Mahabhutaihi. So we can actually say Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi. You can even add the word Pancha if you want there. You'll still be correct. So the Pancha of the Panchikrita is different from the Pancha of the Pancha Mahabhuta. Mahabhuta are Pancha, 5. And then there is a form called Panchikaranam. There is a grossification. There is a process by which that 5 elements becomes this body, becomes any object in this world. And the teacher will talk about that in detail, what that grossification process is. So for now, we will just say process of grossification. The grossified 5 elements, Panchikrita Mahabhutaihi Kritam. For now, we will leave it at that. Satkarma Janyam, that which is born of some very special karma called Punyam, combination of Punyam and Papa, no doubt, according to the Shastram. So Satkarma Janyam, because our lives are all very different, and if we are all just inert material, then we should all be formed in the same way and live the similar life. No, Satkarma Janyam. Karma also influences each of us. Then Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga Yatanam. So all of us have the common experiences of pleasure and pain, and other experiences which are indifferent experiences. We look at the newspaper and say, and we read that somebody, some government employee in Haryana committed suicide because of something. Now, I look at that newspaper. Is there any pleasure in my heart? Is there any pain? No pleasure, no pain. I am indifferent. Haryana is some place I don't even know. If somebody asks me in India, where is Haryana? I will have difficulty trying to spot where is Haryana. Okay, that's how bad I am when it comes to Indian geography. And on top of that, somebody there, something happened and we don't know who this person is. I am unaffected. But then next, Tamil Nadu, something happens. Then people talk about it. Then Coimbatore, something happens. And then I go to the dining hall, everybody talks about it. And then this community, this person passed away. Then, wow, we know this person. How did this happen? We visit their home and all that. So, pleasure, sorrow, look at that. Sukha dukkha, slowly it begins. As it comes closer to us, in our own family, something happens. Then it is definitely a big cause for dukkha. Same death, same human body, but the proximity seems to decide how much of a sorrow we have, how much of pleasure we have. So, sukha dukkha adi, therefore we have to add adi there. Bhoga ayatanam, that place where all experiences are experienced, ayatanam, that container only within which all those experiences are there. Outside this skin, outside this layer of skin is not me. Every experience is within this enclosure. That enclosure is called ayatanam. That is where every experience takes place. Sukha dukkadi bhoga ayatanam. Shariram. And we saw the meaning of shariram. Shiryamana swabhavaha. That which disintegrates is called shariram. Then bhava vikaraha, shad vikaravat, sixfold modifications. The teacher here says any entity that has these attributes is called sthula shariram. So sthula shariram is defined, and an important concept of Pancha Mahabhuta has been introduced here, which we will invoke later also to define the world at large. Any object in this world is also made of these Pancha Mahabhuta. So that model we will invoke again as needed. Okay. So then the question is, this body is there. What is it that makes us say this body is alive versus this body is not alive? If somebody asks, then we have to say, we have to come to the topic of Sukshma Shariram. That which makes this body alive, the Shastra says, is Sukshma Shariram. So, let us chant this verse. And go ahead, Mohini, you can repeat after me. And Sunita, if you can mute yourself briefly. Sukshma Shariram Kim
Sukshma Shariram Kim
Apanchikrita
Apanchikrita
Panchamahabhutaihi
Panchamahabhutaihi
Kritam
Kritam
Satkarmajanyam
Satkarmajanyam
Sukha Dukkhadi
Sukha Dukkhadi
Bhoga Sadhanam
Bhoga Sadhanam
Panchajnanendriyani
पञ्चज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि
पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि
पञ्चकर्मेन्द्रियाणि
पञ्चप्राणादयः
पञ्चप्राणादयः
मनः
मनः
चैकम्
चैकम्
बुद्धिः
बुद्धिः
चैका
चैका
एवम्
एवं
सप्तदश कलाभिः
सप्तदशकलाभिः
सह
सह
this must be yes tishtati
यस्तिष्ठति
tat sukshma shariram
तत् सूक्ष्मशरीरम्
okay yeah so yeah Deepa, you can unmute yourself. So here sukshma shariram is another important component. How did we come to sukshma shariram? That came from the definition of atma. Remember, atma kaha was asked. So then the teacher said sthula sukshma karana sharirat vyatirikta. So we are now analyzing each of those words. So that which is other than sthula shariram, sukshma shariram, karana shariram was one of the elements of the definition of atma. So now we are getting into some more detail. Okay, sukshma shariram. Sukshma shariram now becomes an important link between atma and sthula shariram. Atma we tried to understand last time, we will continue to understand, and sthula shariram is the body, and sukshma shariram will be the link between the two. So sthula shariram is tangible, physically perceivable by our senses, but sukshma shariram is that which cannot be perceived, not available for our perception. But at the same time, sukshma shariram cannot be missed, because we can say the body is alive or not. That much we can say based on the body's movements and activity. So that's why we said what makes the body alive is sukshma shariram. So how can we understand this? We can take the example of a fan, for example. A fan is a gross object, physical object, ceiling fan or a table fan. Fan doesn't function. It is simply there, sitting there in the table fan. But when you turn on the switch, it starts functioning. So the fan, in order to function, needs something called electricity. We all know that. And that electricity just enlivens the fan, and the fan starts functioning. That's when the fan is useful. We did not buy the fan simply to decorate our table, decorate our ceiling. It is there for a function. And so that electricity, we can say, is sukshmam, not perceivable by the five sense organs. So that energy, we can say perhaps, that enlivens this fan is sukshma shariram. And likewise, that thing in this body which makes us throb and work is sukshma shariram. And one more point here we have to note, little that is very unique. Okay, Sukshma Shariram is there, Sthula Shariram is there. But these two must match. There is a bird. The bird has a particular function. It has a particular body. Its features are all very different from the human body. The Sukshma Shariram of the Sukshma Shariram that fits the bird, the Shastra says, must be compatible with the body of the bird. So the Sukshma Shariram provides some functions, and those functions must match with the
Body of the bird.
body. That is right. So the Sukshma Shariram gives the power of flying, but for the power of flying is that to be manifest, there must be wings. So if a human body gets the Sukshma Shariram of a bird, then there will be a problem. There will be a problem. I will feel like flying, I'll keep on lifting my hands, but the body won't go up. All these things can happen. So the Shastram talks about that. It's not simply like electricity. We think electricity is electricity. But even there, you have to, to run a refrigerator, you need a different type of voltage. If not voltage, it requires a different type, if you will, than to run this little timepiece, small little timepiece. It needs a little voltage, 1.5 volts or whatever. And amperage is very little, current is very little. So like that, Sukshma Shariram also has to match. So the fish is there, and fish, or the frog is a better example. The frog is an amphibian. It lives in water, it can live on land also. That's a very different type of lifestyle. Very different. And the human being is there. The human being doesn't have to fly, doesn't have to swim like the fish, and its breathing system is different than the fish, and everything is different, and the buddhi is there, and so all functions are different. So the Shastram says the Sukshma Shariram that I have, or that any living being has, must match the body of the living being. Okay, that much we make a note here. And of course, we see in different living beings different stages of awareness, and animals are less aware of themselves than human beings, and all those attributes are given by the Sukshma Shariram. And even within animals, there are different levels of awareness. You've got basic reptiles and so forth, and then you've got the monkey that seems to sit and it's looking at you, and it seems to want to talk to you. Then there is the gorilla that seems to hold things and be able to apparently capable, it looks like, and it's holding its young beings in a hand like the human being. Then there is the human being that can do a lot of things. So you can see increasing level of awareness that is there. So Sukshma Shariram is of different, it provides for different kinds of functions, visually not perceivable. So if you look at you look at this person is lying on the bed, and then you call him, hey Vikram, get up. And there is no response. And you're doing something else, and what? I called for Vikram, did you get up? Vikram doesn't get up. And 3 minutes happened, and somebody wondered, what happened? He didn't respond. Then you go inside. Vikram, get up. No response. Then you shake the person. Vikram, get up. No response. Then the doctor is called, and the doctor also checks. They check the eyes sometimes. They do like this. I think they put a flashlight. I think they do that to check, because if the lights fall on the eyes, typically there is a reflex action and the eyes close. So I suppose they try to see if that happens. No, didn't happen. Check the breath. No breath is there. Check the pulse. No pulse is there. Pulse is not there. Then, so many tests the doctor has to do in order to say the person is not alive. Person has passed away. So even there, the doctor is making an inference. Look at that. Look at the beauty here. It's all an inference only. There are certain measurements, and you check for those things, and then the doctor says the person. He doesn't say the person must be dead. He says the person has passed away. And we hear stories about people who have not responded, assumed to be dead and all that, and they suddenly wake up and all that. We see. So I suppose we allow for all these exceptions. So in general, when the heart stops beating and the breathing stops, the body cannot function, and so we close the chapter at the point. But it's an inference, not perceivable. Sukshma Sharira has stopped functioning, sometimes they say has left the body, and so that body is no longer alive. That Sukshma Sharira, not perceivable. So all inferences has to be made. That is the point here. We have to make an inference. Sukshma Sharira doesn't say goodbye, and it doesn't make a sound and say, Amma, I'm leaving, and we will see you another time. So these things we don't hear. So we only have to infer. So without the Sukshma Shariram, the body cannot function. Okay. Then the question happens. So what are the functions that the Sukshma Shariram provides? So in a way, we've studied in biology what are the functions of the human body. But here, interestingly, the Shastram talks about those functions, talks about Pancha Karmendriyani. Or first, I think he lists Jnanendriyani. Okay, Pancha Jnanendriyani. 5 sense organs. Pancha Karmendriyani. 5 organs of action. What are the organs of action? The hands, the 2 legs, the organ of speech, and the organ of excretion, and the organ of procreation. This is what the Shastra says are the 5 organs, main organs of action. Organs of actions through which we relate to the world, through which we express ourselves. I mean, there is the face, and you can express ourselves through the face and everything. The whole body can be included. But these are the 5 karmendriyani, pancha karmendriyani. Okay, then what else? Manaha, mind. And then buddhi. Buddhi. So here the author is apparently dividing this mind, so-called mind, into mind and buddhi. Some distinction is being made, correct? Even though it refers to the same organ. So this happens commonly in our Shastram, and they do that because what they do is when mind, manas and buddhi is mentioned separately, then we must understand that the mind, manas refers to. Interesting. The word mind itself has the dhatu man in it. Man. Look at that. Is this a coincidence or what? I don't think it is. Mind, any thought, any emotion, any desire, a doubt. All these things are attributed, these functions are attributed to the so-called mind, manas. Manas generally means that. So it means what? Any emotion, any random thought, any desire. I have a desire. Any feeling, any emotion. All that, all those activities are attributed to this so-called manas. Then the buddhi is reserved for anything where we make decisions. Yes, 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 the guest has arrived. Yes, so you make a decision, something has happened. I want to do something, but something has happened. Yes, food is ready. Decision. Yes, I am ready to have a meal now. Yes. And resolve. Resolve. I make a resolution. I make a decision. Then there is a free will. Will is there. I make a will to do something. Anytime you make a decision, yes, I'm ready to leave home. Yes, I'm ready to go talk to my child's teacher. It's time to go talk to them. All these things. So decisions are being made. Doubts are being resolved. Conclusions are being made. All those things. I'm deliberating to come up. I'm trying to solve a problem. Researcher tries to solve a problem. I'm working with my small child and we are solving a puzzle together. All these are attributed to buddhi. Buddhi. So I think we know all these things. But here the Shastram does make use of these two words. Manaha, buddhihi. So in fact the word used for manaha is sankalpa vikalpatmika. Later on the question will come. Sankalpa, a desire. A desire. And vikalpa means changing. So constantly changing thoughts. So if we are not focused on thinking something, the thoughts will come and go. And people come and go in our mind. And so that is manaha. Buddhi, nischayatmika. Nischaya, where there is nischaya involved, where there is some decision, some conclusion, some arriving at something involved, then that is called buddhi. Okay, so that is manaha and buddhi. And then pancha pranadayaha. Pancha prana, very interesting. Pancha prana, all the physiological functions. So literally pancha prana means this prana, apana ityadi. Prana means respiration. Apana is excretion. Prana is why, apana is why. Vyana is circulation, blood circulation. Udana, interesting function in the body. Udana means ejection. Rejection, not rejection, ejection is what we normally use. I don't have a right word for it. The processes in the body like vomiting. See, vomiting, we don't call that as an excretion like urine. It's not an excretory system. The Shastra identifies that as a separate system. I don't know what they say in biology, in medicine, Mohiniji. I don't know what they say to this vomiting process.
We don't have it as a part of system. It's like a reflex, that we call it a reflex, part of the GI system still.
Part of the GI system.
Gastrointestinal system, yeah.
GI system. But it's not the main function of the GI system, right? Ideally, it should not function. In a healthy body, it should not function. But GI system has very routine functions of digesting, etc. And so very important function happening, working all the time. But the vomiting function should not work in an ideal world, should not work. So that function here is called this udana. And last is samana. Samana is digestion. So udana also, when the life is ending, when the body is about to give up its life, then these udana activities become more and more in the body. So like things, blood flowing out, or vomiting, all these things you see happening, body getting ruptured. And so that is the udana process. Okay. So that is a fivefold physiological functions. And if there are other functions, if the doctor comes and say, Mohini ji can say, hey, what about this nervous system, etc., that's also a function in the body, then we must add it to one of these five. You might be able to add it to, maybe circulation. Maybe that Vyana word has to include nervous system also. What about the endocrine system? If somebody says, okay, add it in one of these five. So prana, maybe we can be added to the prana. If something is very critical, then put it in prana. Something not so critical, put it in something else. Okay. So the idea is there is something called prana. It's physiological functions which are essential to make this body function. That is the whole point. Shastram is not, as we said earlier, the Shastram is, Vedanta Shastram is not serious about really finding out every process and like medicine or biology. No, it's not interested. So it talks about Pancha Prana. Now, having listed these things, Karmendriyani, organs of action. If my hands don't function, I can still live. If my legs don't function, I can still live. I may be able to live for 100 years without hands. A human being may be able to live. What about Jnanendriyani? Eyes, ears and all that. Sense organs. See, sense organs, something interesting. The eyes, ears may stop functioning, eyes stop functioning. Sense of smell, I suppose, I hear sometimes with cold and all, the sense is not functioning properly. But I don't know if that sense organ really can completely stop functioning. But it's this respiratory system, all the blockages and things like that. And as the blockages are there, the sense of smell is vitiated. But that can also, I can survive even without the sense of smell. What about sense of taste? No, I can survive without sense of taste. Maybe a bit dry life. Whatever I taste, whatever I eat, I don't feel the taste. I don't know if that can happen. But suppose with age, these things can happen. And the sense of touch is interesting all over the body. I mean, the body parts can become numb, and sense of numbness is always there. But I have not met anybody, I've not seen anybody who says I can't feel anything in the body and yet live a normal life. I've not seen that. Perhaps Mohini ji can tell us during satsang.
Paralysis, like paraplegics or quadriplegics, they don't have sensation, but as long as it's beyond below a particular level in the neck, they still can have respiration and be alive.
Yeah. Be alive. So
Yeah,
they can't.
yeah.
So they don't,
C4, C5, once that is affected, then they can't live. But below that, like spinal cord injuries, you will not have sensation, you will not be able to move, but as long as it is below a particular level, you can have, you can be paralytic from your belly button down, that's paraplegia. Quadriplegia is where your upper limbs and lower limbs both can be paralyzed because of spinal cord injury.
Okay. Correct. Good point. So spinal cord, which is the seat of the nervous system. And so we can imagine that that even though the sense may be here, that sense is not transmitted to the body for me to say that I'm feeling something. And so, sure, the paraplegic is still able to survive. And so now, and then in let's see now, when I go to sleep in the night, karmendriyas don't function, jnanendriyas, senses don't function. Okay, manaha is active during dream. Okay, manaha, manas buddhi. Now I'm not sure about buddhi, but manas is definitely active. Buddhi is active. Prana, physiological functions, of course, active. And it's all digestion is happening. How do you know digestion is happening? Because when I get up in the morning, I am famished. Let's say I'm famished. And so I go to the refrigerator and pull something out. So that shows something has been working in the night when I was sleeping. So we can make an inference that the digestive function is working. So prana is working. Respiration is, of course, working. Deep sleep, manaha shuts down. Mana also is not working. Prana is working. Correct? Deep sleep. What about coma? What about coma? So, nothing works in the body except prana. Because the person is alive. We only say the person is coma. We don't say the person is dead. So that shows heart is beating. The person is probably breathing also. I don't think a person can survive without breathing. So these two functions are happening. So the point of all this discussion is there must be a minimum function among the sukshma shariram. The prana has to function. Some minimum physiological functions have to happen in order for the body to be alive. Minimum sukshma sharira. What about sthula shariram? Is there any minimum required? Yeah, a minimum should be required. So for the heart to function, yeah, they will measure the function of the heart, 60, 70%, 60%, or only 30% function, they say. So that minimum is there. I suppose below a particular minimum, then the heart just gives up. So there is a minimum. Kidney, we've heard, people can live with one kidney. We've seen that's practical. So minimum one kidney is needed, even though we have two kidneys. So like this, some minimum functions are needed. I don't know, liver, lungs and all that. Mohini ji can tell us whether, some minimums are there also.
Yeah, you have a lot of reserve for liver. Lungs also, you have some reserve. I mean, people have pneumonectomies, so they can live with one lung if it is healthy. Depends on how the other lung is and functioning, yes. I mean, you still can live, yeah. If your other lung
still can live.
Yeah.
So even with limited function, we can survive. The body can survive. But if there is a rupture in the body somewhere, the heart got ruptured, liver got ruptured, etc., then the body tries to live. But after some time, if the sthula sharira is damaged to a point where the sukshma shariram cannot reside in the sthula shariram, then the sukshma leaves and the body dies. So this is our language. Look at the Shastram language. So the minimum sukshma shariram is needed, and minimum sthula shariram also is needed in order for the body to be alive and kicking, as they say. So mutually dependent. Sukshma shariram also depends on sthula shariram, and sthula also depends on sukshma in order to kind of keep this body going. Okay. So this is all the pancha prana, mana buddhi, etc. Then look at this. When the sukshma sharira leaves the body, the body is dead. Then we can ask the question, hey, how come, why not another Sukshma Sharira come into this, in this body? Got a great model, Jaykumarji. Why not another Sukshma Sharira come here? No, like this apartment, I'm here now and I'm renting this place. And after some time I will leave and somebody else is going to occupy this apartment. And so, why not this body also be like that? Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the way things work.
Because I think
And
the Sharira is already broken. I mean, that part, it is destroyed somewhere. That's why the prana left, right?
Sukshma cannot survive.
yeah, so that is one possibility. But the other possibility is somebody dies even without. Yeah, so that's how we would like to explain it. And so, because of that match between Sukshma and Stula. But sometimes they say, oh, what's wrong with him? He's only 40 years, he does yoga and 1 hour a day, and he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, and nobody expected this to happen. At least for that person, some other Sukshma should come back. Maybe the Sukshma fought with the Stula and said, forget it, I'm done with you. And so, no, that doesn't seem to work. And so, therefore, we bring back the Satkarma Janyam. The Stula Shariram is Satkarma Janyam, remember. The human body, Jantunam, Nara Janma Durlabham. We saw that. So, because of that intimate connection between Sukshma Sharira and Stula Sharira, the Shastram uses the same Satkarma Janyam for Sukshma Shariram also. To have all these functions, to be able to function in this body as a human body or as any body, the Sukshma Shariram is also Satkarma Janyam. It is also a result of some Punyam and some Papam combination. And especially this human body, Satkarma Janyam. And so that is why the author says the Sukshma Shariram also is a result of karma, some Sat karma. Okay. So we just have a couple of more things to do. Maybe I'll just finish it in a couple of minutes. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. What did we say for Stula Shariram? Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam. The container, the place, the location of experience. Here it is Bhoga Sadhanam. Sadhyate Anena iti Sadhanam. That by which something is experienced, something is gained, is called Sadhanam. So sometimes they say, I'm doing this meditation as a Sadhanam, like that they say. So here also, the means by which I gain all these experiences. Sadhanam. My sense organs, my mind, all these are means by which I gather experiences, get data, and we become who we are. Our mind gathers memories, our mind begins to think. So all these things are instruments, if you will, sadhanam. Okay. So this body then has many organs through which I get input from the world, through which the world just walks into me, and then there are hands and legs and other parts through which I express myself to the world. I provide data to the world. I relate to the world. So both are happening. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. And then Apanchikrita Mahabhutaihi Kritam. He says that. So we talked about Pancha Mahabhutani. That Pancha Mahabhuta, Akasha, Vayu, Ityadi, when it is still subtle and it is, then that is, and that the non-grossified subtle form of the Pancha Mahabhuta is the Sukshma Shariram. But the grossified form, the physicalized form of the Pancha Mahabhuta will be called the Sthula Shariram. Will be called Sthula Shariram. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is what he is saying here. Apanchikrita Mahabhutaihi. That which is not in a grossified form. So even in physics, physics has come a long way. We can quote them now. Matter and energy. Correct? Matter and energy. Matter is gross. Energy is subtle. Correct? Energy is, you can't see energy but with your eyes. Matter is gross, physically perceivable. And matter and energy, there is some relationship, there is some connection. There is some connection. They even say matter and energy, or what do you call it? Maybe transferable. Matter can become energy. Energy can become mass. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we have plants growing and all that. And mass coming out of minerals and energy. Sunlight becoming vegetables and flowers and fruits and plants. So energy is getting converted into mass. All that is happening. So similarly here also, Shukshma and Sthula. Panchikrita Mahabhutani is Sthulam. Apanchikrita Mahabhutani is Sukshmam. And later on, we will talk about this Panchikaranam, this process of grossification. And the author here says, Saptadasha Kalabhihi Yastishtati. Saptadasha means 17. Dasha is 10, Sapta is 7. 10 plus 7, 17. Kalabhihi. Kala means factor, elements, constituents. So that which is there along with these 17 constituents. What are the 17 constituents? Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Pranaha, Manaha and Buddhihi. 5 times 3 plus 2 is 17. So Saptadasha Kalabhihi Yastishtati. Tat Sukshma Shariram. Okay, we'll stop with that and continue next class. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Ayena Markena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.